So you want to learn how to handstand, but you don't know where to start? This is your video. My name is Andrew Jarvis. We're here today at the Fit Studios, and we're gonna cover how to start your handstand journey. Do us a quick favor, hit that subscribe button, make sure to give us a like, and if you haven't already, leave us a comment on what you'd like to see more of. We're gonna start right off with 4 moves as our warm-up. So the first move is going to be shoulder shrugs from plank position. So we're gonna start off by getting into a good plank, and this plank is gonna be from the hands, not the elbows. And we're going to focus on keeping the arms straight as we protract and retract our shoulder blades. Now you can go about 15 to 20 reps. Get the shoulders nice and warmed up. And then moving into move number 2, we're gonna go for the pike hold, and we're gonna get into our plank position as well. We're gonna walk the feet in. And not only are we gonna get a little bit of a stretch in the hamstrings, but we're gonna lean in to those hands, and we're going to also shrug the shoulders away from us. And if you'd like to take it a step further, you can shrug from your pike as well, getting more of that upward motion. Next, we're gonna take the plank out a little bit. We're in a pike position, and we're gonna work the split. So open up those legs, get those hips working. And then from there, we go into our seated straddle. So we're gonna get not as wide as you can go. I would say try to open up initially as wide as you can go, and then bring it in from there. And that's a good position to have a little bit more mobility in your straddle. So first, we're gonna start off with a quick little pulse. And you can count out 10 of these. Obviously going as far as you can forward. Initially just getting a nice little pulse. And then we're gonna do the opposite, hand to toe touch. Once you go through 10 of these, then we're going to take the opposite hand in a side bend. And you're gonna do 10 of these. Once you finish that, you're back on your feet. And we get started with the handstand. The biggest common mistake I see with getting into and learning a handstand is people utilizing the wall too soon. So our first step is actually going to learn how to gain confidence in jumping up in our handstand without worrying about falling and getting hurt on the ground. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get down into position, and if you need the extra energy to hop up into your handstand, you can do so. I'm gonna start with hands on the floor. Maybe I'll show you both versions. So when I first get into my handstand, I'm thinking about all the different components of holding it, and it gets complicated, and it could also get overwhelming. So the first thing we're gonna think about is actually going over. So it's not gonna be a surprise when we fall, because that's the goal. Think of it as almost doing a bad cartwheel. So I put my hands down, I get one foot, this is gonna be my jumping foot, and I call this the swing leg. So as I swing this leg, I'm gonna jump from this leg. Now I'm gonna go right into it, and I'm gonna jump over the handstand, fall to my feet. Swing, jump. All right, so you notice I covered the distance from here, almost that 180 turn. Now you can really scale it down, or you can scale it up by going all the way through a nice handstand, and we're gonna cover all of that. If you are really new to this and you're just starting off, I want you to do a small little cartwheel, keeping your hands planted here, and then adjusting as you go over. So I'll show you a small one. Swing leg, jump leg. And you notice that my hands were down on the floor throughout most of the motion, and I'm also looking down in that area of where my hands are. Now, if you're feeling a little bit more comfortable with this, we could actually take it up to a full handstand. And what's cool about this is you don't actually need to be able to hold a handstand to effectively pull this off. So what we're gonna do is get tight in the middle of it. Think of planking out your body, getting stiff like a pencil, and you're gonna notice it's so similar to the last one I did, but I'm just gonna straighten out at the top and confidently come down. It's not gonna be a surprise when I fall. That's the biggest thing here. We're doing this on purpose. So I swing the leg, I jump the leg, I hit the handstand, and I swing over. Now that we're getting taller with it, there's a little bit more energy. And if you notice, you guys take a closer look at my hands down here. I'm gonna pivot off the palm here because I need to rotate. So I'm gonna jump up, nail that handstand, and you see how I was rotating that hand out? Show you one more time. Get down into position, jump up, hit that handstand, rotate out, and we are safe. So mastering the handstand bailout is step one in getting much better at your handstand. Once you feel confident with your handstand bailout, we're gonna add a little bit more to it. So coming down into our position, we're not only gonna focus on the bailout, but we're gonna focus on the initial portion as well. Remember, the goal here is not to nail a good handstand. If you do, good for you, but the focus is getting the drills in. That's what we really wanna focus. So my goal is to go all the way over or come back. And that means that I may hit the center point, I may tip over, I may come back to my feet. So let's go over a few examples of what may happen. So I'm gonna confidently jump up and try to nail that handstand in the first position. I may go over, I may come back. Jump up, nail the handstand. I went over, I bailed out. Let's do it again. I confidently jump up and I try to hit, you can call it a plank position. Your body should be stiff, just like doing a plank on the ground, except we're inverted with our arms overhead. Jump up, stiff position, and I'm falling, and I twist out of it. A good tip, if this is new to you, is to try to bring one foot down first, and it's gonna be a much softer landing. I'll show you what that looks like. I go up, I nail a handstand, and I bring one leg down, and the other leg follows afterwards. It's kind of like suspension in your car. It just reduces the shock we get on the floor. Now, we're gonna think about trying to go up into that tall position and maybe work coming down back this way. So let's see. I jump into handstand, I try to nail it quick, and I came back down. This side's a little bit easier to get the one leg back down. I jump up, nail it. You see that time wasn't as high. Maybe you're just starting here. And this brings me back to the point of why we're doing this drill. A lot of people spend too much time in this portion of trying to get up to their handstand. And what happens in their head is if they actually get into position straight, they feel like they're going over because they've made it their standard to only get this high. So that's why, coming back to why this drill is important, we wanna confidently be able to get up to handstand and know that if we fall over, we're totally fine. So with this drill, you're working on both sides of it. Pop up, I'm falling, and I fall confidently all the way to the ground, getting comfortable with going up, coming back to my feet this way, going up, hitting that quick position, twisting out, safely landing on your feet. It's common for beginners to start their handstand by first throwing their hands onto the floor and then jumping up. Personally, I don't like this, not only for myself, but I don't like teaching this because what I've noticed is it causes a little bit too much energy to go up and over. And we don't necessarily want to go that direction in our handstand. I know, of course, when we practice it, we want to go up and over to get confident with that portion of it. But in regards to actually holding the handstand, we want to go up and just keep that force going upward so that we can balance up there and not fall to the ground. So working on that initial get up, we're not going to throw our hands down because that's the easiest way to go over. And now we're going to cut back some of the energy. Here's how I like people to start and spend the first few months of their handstand journey, and you're gonna utilize this pretty much throughout your entire handstand journey. We're gonna put both of our hands down. We're gonna use the hammer or the swing leg technique as well as the jump. Now, you're gonna notice that first leg, this one is gonna be in the lead. This one, my jump leg is gonna follow, and we come right into position, and I reverse it back down. If we nail a good handstand, we don't want to stay up there too long. We want to decide when we come down, and that's going to also build strength. You hear about negatives a lot, training negative pull-ups, negative push-ups. This is how we train negative handstands. So when we get our initial entry clean, we nail that handstand and we come down slow as we can, That's gonna build a lot of strength. Next from there, if we get confident with that, we're gonna work on the straddle up. I really like this move, and that's why it's important to do your stretches before and possibly after. So, a little bit more complicated, but the reason I like this entry so much is because if you've noticed, everything we've worked on so far has been to get up and over, and that's good. Like I said, we're building the confidence, but now we wanna go up and stay up. Now, if you think about the legs the way they were going, it's moving in this motion and that can kind of take us over. We're gonna work on the straddle jump up, and what that's gonna do is it's gonna bring our legs together in a vertical motion, and the energy is gonna kind of cancel out. It's not gonna send us one way or another. So here's how it looks. I'll show you guys from the side view initially. So I get my hands into position. I'm focusing on keeping my fingers wide because I want a good grip towards the floor. And I'm gonna get both of my feet together. My knees can be bent, and I'm going to jump and initiate that straddle as soon as I can. And you see I'm kind of building it up for you guys. And then we want to bring those feet together and bring it back down, because the goal here is not to hold that handstand. We're not ready for that. We want to focus on our entry and possibly our exit. Both hands to the floor, both feet together, knees slightly bent. We're going forward, but mostly upward. Legs straddle, they meet at the top, we bring it back down. Now, don't forget your first component. If you do this and go over, you're gonna be totally fine. Feet together, legs a little bent, straddle, we go over, we twist out, and we're perfectly fine. It's important to remember that we don't need to focus so much on the programming of this. It's such a skill-based move. I really want you to have fun with it. If you guys have fun with this over the next month or two, I can guarantee you're gonna have some serious handstand results. If you guys found this video useful, make sure to like and subscribe. Leave us a comment on what you'd like to see more of. Thanks for watching.